can't figure out. Oh,
We're
sorry.
live. Wait, are we live? Setting up your webinar for Facebook Live.
It says webinar is now streaming.
Are we? It says, oh, no, wait, that's, oh,
Yeah,
live.
I see you on the Facebook page.
Yay, we did it. We made it. Without the mighty Chaz here to start it. We had some technical difficulties, people.
So I figured it out.
But welcome to the SEO Vault. We've made it. Another exciting week. Chaz is not able to make it this week, so we're going to have to just have a little fun party without Chaz. That's the way it's going to be. Sophie's here, and so is my cat. Hello, kitty cat. You want to get down from there for me so I can run this SEO Vault show here? How are you doing, Sophie?
I'm good. It's actually pretty nice here today, so can't complain.
Nice. It is pretty gloomy and rainy today, but I've been inside all day, so I haven't noticed. All right. Do we got anybody on here? I'm trying to open up the comments. So
AJ said we're live.
We are live. You're up and live. We can see you. Hi, AJ. Welcome. Welcome, AJ. Can I open this up? There we go. Okay, so we are live, everybody. Welcome to the SEO Vault. Again, I said Chaz isn't here. Sophie's here with us today. Got an exciting day. We got some brand updates for you. Sophie's going to be doing the news for us, going over some SEO tests and some agency discussion. So let's jump right into it, huh? If you got any questions, comments, anything, put them in the comments below, side, wherever they are. We'll kind of answer as we go along, so don't hold back. So, brand updates. I think we got some Web 20 updates. The site speed service that we're putting together for the, obviously, mobile readiness, page speed, all that stuff is getting really important. So we're trying to get that service together as soon as possible. It's getting really close. I'm not sure of the exact date yet, but definitely keep an eye out for our page speed service coming out in the next week or so, a few weeks maybe. And we'll obviously give you another heads up when we're getting a few days closer to that. Let's see. Also, there was a beta test link too in the group. So if you haven't seen that, if you wanted to sign up, if we still have some spots open, go looking for that. Let me scoot in here, get down there. Okay. Agency Webby. We have an agency scaling Webby coming up. It's actually Webby we've been talking about since last year. We started doing some promotions to get people tickets to get in. We've done a few promotions since then. If you don't already have a seat, keep your eye out over weekend deals. Next few days, next week, I think we are going to have some more opportunities to get in that. It's going to be a massive Webby though. Where we're going through all the sales stuff we've set up for our agency, from different ways we're running lead acquisition through phone calls, cold email, how we're funneling that through, how we're taking that, converting it to leads, proposals, everything, pretty much everything. And it's going to be so in depth. We've had to put it off, I think, about 2 months now, because we keep doing more and more and more, adding on more sales funnels, doing more things. And now we're finally at a point where we're like, okay, we need to get this all together so we can set up the Webby. Should be in the next week or two. Again, it's going to be big. It is exclusive access. So if you don't have a seat already, be sure to watch out. Like I said, weekend deals, not wheel deals. We don't do that anymore. Just the regular weekend deal. I'm sure we're going to have some opportunities there, and just watch out in the group. We'll let everyone know when exactly that's scheduled, probably about 2 weeks from now. Let's see, any other big updates? No, actually, I think that's about it. If you are waiting on your swag or some bonuses from the previous weekend deals, I'm actually going over a few of those. We're working on getting that out. So if you haven't gotten things yet, don't be alarmed. We didn't forget about you. And if you are sitting there waiting, should be probably in the next few days, early next week. We'll be reaching out and getting everyone hooked up, let them know what to expect and when. So that's, I think, all we got for news this week. Do we got any fun comments yet? Any good questions?
Yeah. Well, they want to know where Chaz is. They think he's water skiing, but there's a long question.
Chaz dresses up as a bat sometimes and goes out and fights crime. Um, don't tell him I told you that. It's a big secret. So that we don't know where Chaz is, but I'm just saying. What else we got? Oh, big question. You're right. So someone, Michael has 2 locations, 10 miles apart. Uh, country line essentially would be perfect middle point to divide them. Would it be okay to just divide these by country? As in just have one listing, have the service area of the 2 countries in the west and the other location as the 2
Counties.
count. Thank you. I'm sitting here, I'm like countries. My screen's a little smaller because I'm on my little thing here and it's not really formatting where I could read this right. So yes, counties, that makes more sense because if we're talking countries, probably wouldn't matter unless you were very close to the border. So in all honesty, like for filtering it out, diluting them, anything like that, as long as I don't think your exact service area is going to be a big issue. More importantly, if they are the same brand, you'll probably just see one ranking and the other one possibly not. But the proximity algo is going to be based off where they're located anyways, which is going to be probably the strongest algo when it comes to which one Google's displaying and in what situation. So, hey cat. Yeah, I honestly, I don't think you need to think too much into it. These were service area, right? Or did he not
Yeah.
say?
Yeah, they're both service area, I think.
Oh, there's my cat. Yeah. Get down.
Well, he said before the service areas were overlapping.
So the service area doesn't actually rank you. So like if you set 2 service areas for a business at the same city, say the same business, I've yet personally, I haven't seen filtering occur just because of the set service area, like where it doesn't show one or like either of them or something. Proximity seems to trump that. So honestly, I don't think you're going to get much if the service area you're listing is overlapping. I probably would keep them a little bit separate. Just so because it'll give you more of an opportunity possibly to rank further in the opposite directions of each other than right towards each other. But more than anything, I don't think it's going to affect you hugely. It's the proximity algo is going to play a bigger part in that. So that's my 2 cents there. Let me try and fix my screen here.
Does it depend what kind of listing it is, though? Like for what kind of industry?
Well, that's what I said. Are they a service area as in they don't list? I meant do they list the address when I said service area? So does it have an address or is it no address and they just say they service people on site? At the end of the day, though, where that pin is going to be the biggest.
Okay, I know this guy's exact situation actually because I just did a recommendation for him.
There you go.
He's a bounce house rental company and his initial listing is far out of the city, but so he created a second listing that's closer to the city, but now they're competing with each other. But it's one business. So he has 2 listings for one business. It's exactly the same. He's just trying to get closer proximity to downtown.
But now when you say they're competing with each other, are they both showing in the maps or is it just
only some? When I was doing it, I could only get one to go most of the time.
Okay, so they're filtering each other out. And that's based on location. Are you talking about like a GeoGrid run, right?
Well, he wasn't a service area business before. When I did the audit, it was, or when I did the review, it was just 2. Like he had 2 addresses. He got the second one verified somehow.
So well, the thing is, I'm wondering, you're saying that if you're right in between those businesses, then, and So you hit the address. If you're right in between those businesses and you search for their keywords, only one is showing, right?
But I'm also out of this city, so it's like I feel like it would be
So
different.
that's what I'm wondering. Are you looking at GeoGrids, or are you just searching the term and talking about what you're seeing?
No, I'm searching in the maps.
Okay, so but you're not looking at an actual GeoGrid to see where they rank and how far out and where those overlap.
Well, his original one ranks really well because it's established. I mean, it's been there forever. But he created that second one, and when you run that GeoGrid, it's not even. It's like page 2, tops.
So that new one is probably filtering out the old one. But it depends on where you are. That's what I'm saying. So if you just go to maps and search,
That's what I'm saying because I'm not in Ohio. I think he is.
yes, you need to run a GeoGrid is what you need to do and see how far out each one of those is actually ranking and see how they actually overlap. At the end of the day, I'm willing to bet unless that new listing doesn't rank well at its location, then you have a problem. Because if it's filtering out the one that ranked on page 1 that far out, but that one doesn't, then you probably have an issue. But chances are that Google is just showing the closer listing by proximity based on where you're at.
Wouldn't you want a service area business for this type? Like, because he doesn't have a location, he just brings the bounce houses.
Yeah, but so it doesn't really make that big of a difference. So a service area will maybe give you a better opportunity to rank geographically closer in that area because the map now, like when you add a service area, it puts like a ring around your service area. So if you put it in like 3 cities across a state, like it's gonna put this huge box that like stretches across a state. So because of the way when Google shows a map, when you search it, right, your business has to be within that map for Google to show you in the listing. So that's how service area, from what I've seen, affects being able to get put in that listing because now you are in that area on the map, right? So you're in that. Doesn't mean you could get on page 1 because Google's not necessarily going to zoom out that page 1 listing far enough to get you in. So the point is, though, that when you're in the situation, if you look at an actual GeoGrid for both of them, what you'll probably see is that your actual reach has expanded, but when you start getting in between both listings, that's where it might cut out from this one or that one, or it might even go back and forth. So honestly, I would have to run some GeoGrids and take a closer look at that. So first of all, having the address listed and not listed, that's up for debate if that has an impact. I don't want to say too much on it right now because we're doing some tests and I've seen some weird things and run some tests on my own. But it's nothing definitive where I would say that's going to be your major issue in that situation. So the fact that you're saying, the question is, should you overlap service areas? I think more than anything, and I think you should keep them separate. So you should have those service areas like back to back on the map and then push them out in the other directions. But at the end of the day, I don't think it's a major thing that you're dealing with there. And I'll take a look at Sophie, if you want to shoot me the info.
I'll send it to you because it's just unique. But
no, I'm curious, to take a look and see what it actually looks like too on the ranking side. So
it looks like he's made some changes since I looked at it too, though.
Okay. So I definitely would separate those service areas just to keep them in different areas. Let Google know where one business should stop ranking, another one should start, because that filtering could possibly get weird and cause you to lose some traffic or some rankings, in the middle of those 2 businesses. But yeah. So Matt jumped in. Hey Matt, how's it going? Next week's topic: how to fire your clients. That's are you having some fun situations with your client, Matt? Or I definitely am not big into client work for that exact reason, personally. But they're not all bad. There's some good clients out there. I hope you got some good clients, Matt, not just bad clients. All right. So let's I think we're gonna jump into the news. You want to do the news, Sophie?
Yeah.
Pass it off to you.
Yeah, the first piece of news is the creepy Google Maps Street View images, which it sounds like it's more for people who are trying to hide their address, which I don't understand why you would use an address if you want to hide it.
Well, you don't, that's it. So they don't list an address. But when you look at their business on maps, like it'll show my house in the picture. So you could see my house and my house number, and you could go stand on the street where I'm at and look at my building, but it'll have no address when the business pops up on Google. So
Yeah, but the article was citing like domestic violence victims, and I'm thinking if that happened to me, I wouldn't put my.
yeah, I don't know about all that. I just literally glanced at what they were talking about, the image showing, which that could not huge news, but
and then Google local map pack is showing menu highlights. I like that for my own benefit. The new tool was the Google My Business review removal. Have you actually used that yet or looked at it? I haven't looked into that.
No, I literally just heard about it this morning when I was going through, I think Facebook or somewhere, someone posted about it or something.
I'm excited to look into that one with my own clients. Then they have the emojis in Google search suggestions and autocomplete, but I could only get it to pop for the one term that was in the screenshot. So I don't know why just that one person has emojis. And then Google's, oh, go ahead.
Oh, I'm coming after.
Oh, then Google's showing product image thumbnails and search snippets more often. And then lastly, the new sentiment layout with mobile Google My Business listings. I'm in favor of that.
Yeah, so a lot of good local updates. One of them I think you skipped actually was the Google My Business ad overlay on individual. Which I am not in favor of that because I'm an SEO and not a paid traffic guy, and I don't want Google getting their paid shit in front of my clients or my listings. But so yeah, let's just jump back to the top here real quick. Yeah, the creepy Google Maps thing. I saw that just on the SE Roundtable when I was going through the news before we jumped on. So if you don't have your address listed on your listing, someone could still open up the listing in Google Maps and see the street view, essentially, which people are saying is kind of weird. If you do work out of your house, people can see it. I personally, like I've never really tried to hide. Like I'll list my home address. You know what I mean? Like I usually don't list phone number places because I don't want people calling me, but generally people don't care where I live. And if you cared that enough about where I lived, where you were going to try and do something malicious to me, then you'd probably find out where I live anyways without me posting it on Google or something. You know what I like? So I've never really had that kind of fear, you know, like
I haven't either.
I know where everyone on my block lives, you know, like knowing where someone lives. I guess if you're, and I get the whole privacy thing, but that doesn't bother me too much. But if you are a lead gen person, right, and you understand now people can go look at your lead gen listings on the map and see kind of what is there. They'll see if there's a house there or whatever. Google might maybe reverse it if they get enough backlash, but I don't know, probably not. Who knows? The review removal tool.
I don't like that they let you remove reviews in the first place. I've gotten burned before just personally where they pay someone to get rid of the reviews and then I go to a shitty dentist and it was awful.
Well, I mean, I've removed some reviews from Google. It's not always the easiest thing. I mean, you can't just go to Google and be like, I don't like this review or whatever. Essentially, you have to, for me, I have to prove, I go to them and I say, hey, here's your TOS. And I cite the terms of service and I pretty much point out exactly why that review goes against their TOS. And almost every time I get a review taken down. Now, if the review doesn't go against TOS, it's usually very hard, unless you're going the spammy route or like flagging it and doing all that kind of other stuff you can do. Now, this review tool by Google, this to me almost feels like the disavow tool, where Google's like, yeah, we might not use that. or we might. Like, I don't think it's going to be much of a difference, to be honest with you. I feel like this is almost like to keep you happy. If you're unhappy about a review, now you have a place to go and pretend like you're being heard, kind of deal. But I am interested to go in there and start testing, submitting some things, seeing what kind of responses and whatever. I don't know if anyone else got a chance to check it out yet or see anything. No, don't see any. All righty, well, let us know if you've had any experience with that. What do you think about Google listing ads over other people's Google My Businesses on maps?
I don't like that.
Yeah,
I was just searching on my phone and it takes up like half the screen.
That is
more space. Like
it's like a Zuckerberg play, right? We're just gonna slap an ad right in the middle of your feed or your screen or wherever you're trying to look for what you actually want. We're just gonna put it right there. I'm not a fan of
user that makes me use it less.
It's like a Yelp move, right? Yelp does that crap. They're like, hey, you want to get on your competitors' listings? Give us money every month. And then, and they list you on your competitors' listings. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's great for paid ads. Google wants to monetize, but I don't know. It's kind of like that's kind of falls into that, like Google putting links to like DoorDash or providers on top of restaurant GMBs, which me and Chaz have talked about before. People have claimed that has happened. Me and Chaz are kind of we think maybe they agreed to that, checked a box somewhere, did something that through a third-party tool that ended up doing that. But long story short, I wouldn't put it past Google to do something that hurts others and benefits them. Okay, I'm just gonna come out and say that. So yeah. There's a reason why they decided to get rid of do no evil. I think their slogan, what was it, do no evil or something?
When was their slogan do no evil?
Forever, Google. And they changed their slogan recently.
Mm-hmm.
It was I announced it on the Vault. Do no evil is a phrase used in Google's corporate code of conduct. And it was changed now to do the right thing. So don't be evil. Yeah, don't be evil was changed to do the right thing. So,
but the right thing is subjective based on a person.
Exactly, which is why Google doesn't want to use words like evil or bad or immoral. We're going to use words like do the good thing based on Google's terms of service. That's what that is. So, all right, what else we got?
Emojis.
The emojis, yeah, okay. So have you ever done anything fun with emojis, Sophie? In SEO, I mean, specifically?
Not in like headings or anything. I mean, I like in copy, but I don't really think that affects SEO.
Oh, hey, Chaz jumped in here. Hey, Chaz. Well, he's in the comments. What's happening? We're talking about emojis, Mr. Chaz. Yeah.
Have you actually seen it when you're searching? Because I searched a bunch of things and I couldn't find it.
Okay, so last year I did a lot of tests with emojis. And first of all, you can go right now and search an emoji. Google will know what that emoji is. They'll pull results based on the emoji itself. The emoji is treated almost like a letter in the alphabet. It's its own symbol. It's its own identifier. Now, the interesting thing with emojis is Google does know what they are. So if you follow SEO Mad Scientist, last year I did a lot of emoji tests, but I do emoji tests a lot just because I'm really curious in emoji. I read some article the other day about someone who registered a bunch of emoji domains. There's only certain top level domains that you can register emojis in. But now he's offering email services where you could have like, Mike at smiley face. And when you send that to that with the emoji at smileyface.il or whatever the extension is, it goes your email. So I don't know. I love emojis because they're different. They're kind of a step back where, like the hieroglyphics, we tell whole stories with these little tiny images and they have meaning, right? That's the biggest thing, is that there's meaning. So if you put a car emoji in the search bar and then you type in title loan, you will get Google pulling up car title loan like listings, which title loan is car title loan, okay, but it bolds the word car. It knows that the car in the metadata and in the title is relevant to the car emoji, even though you didn't write the word car in the search.
But it knows even beyond that, because I'll like, if I'm using just searching, it knows like synonyms of the word. So even if I search like birthday, it will show me a balloon emoji, the birthday cake emoji, a present emoji. So it's like it understands semantics.
It does, yes. And that's the thing too, because if you put a certain string of emojis, right? Because that's why I said people tell stories with emojis, they communicate with emojis. So Google will understand a string of emojis and what that means. Because there's websites that have that. Google's collecting that data. I don't think we're seeing a lot of it being used at the moment because people don't search in emojis, right? But over time, I see that possibly being like an on-page signal or a contributor to Google understanding what your content is, which is why I do so much testing with emojis. I think a test that I'll be going over this weekend is actually a GMB emoji test, emojis in the GMB title specifically. So
have you ever tested an emoji domain?
So, like I said, there's only certain ones you can register.
There's a service you can buy them, because I went to a conference like 3 years ago and you could buy them.
Yeah, but you can't buy smileyface.com.
No, I think it had to be like 3 or more emojis. It couldn't be just one.
Well, yeah, but you could buy, so I've only ever checked on certain websites for like the .coms, .nets. I couldn't get any emojis registered. When I started looking at, which I could find the article, bet you if you search emoji email, it'll probably come up. Oh no, the emoji email symbol came up. Service. It was a really interesting article.
Mail? No.
Emoji email.
Who runs all these websites that just catalog emojis? Gee.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's why I said there's a lot of data on emojis, and Google definitely knows what they mean and how people are using them to communicate. Like Google's algorithm understands the written language the same way, right? It's not like Google, it doesn't have an AI that just knows how to read. And then it was like, okay, now figure out what these things are. It's connecting all those pieces. So the more prevalent emojis get, the more I see them being used. And the more I would expect them to be used in suggestions, autocomplete, things like that. So anyways, I went a little side tangent on emojis. I'm a big emoji fan because they're fun to play around with. And yeah, so the GMB test, that should be interesting. Putting emojis in, we're testing obviously CTR, see if I get some more calls or clicks or anything like that. But also using some relevant emojis, seeing if we get any kind of relevance boost using emojis in titles, GMB address. I can't remember what I was looking for yesterday, but I think I put like roofing repair with like a star emoji. And I found some GMB that had like a giant arrow emoji with their business name and then 5 emoji stars. But because of the space on the desktop, the emoji stars were underneath the name. So it looked like they had a 5-star ranking with giant 5 emoji stars when it was just 5 emoji stars and not the actual ranking. But yeah, funny how that Google doesn't flag that stuff. All right, anything else here? So you like the product images? You got e-com sites or something, Sophie? You said you like that, right?
I just like it for myself. It's like, it's so much easier to skim.
I wonder if there's a way. So for one of the updates, just recap real quick, anyone who came in, Google's showing more images of like actual products, merchandise in search. Like if you're searching for jerseys or hoodies or whatever store site pops up, it shows you like little image snippets. I would love to see or figure out some way to kind of manipulate this for services. Because if they're doing it with, and that's the thing, I'm wondering if it's, so far it's obviously just e-com sites, right? But what separates an e-com site from a service site? The ability to purchase on the site. If I started some tests when I saw this earlier today, I started going to my sites and putting up products on my service pages, listing of products. So it would be really interesting if we could trigger something with that. And it would be interesting too, I think, if Google just did that, because we're testing products and services on the GMB listing as well. And products on the GMB listing seem to do some stuff, which we'll get to in the Mad Scientist, I'm sure. Services, we've yet to find anything. It's like Google putting all this emphasis on products is my point, right? So they're getting images in search. We're seeing some impacts and things with GMB listings. Looking at some more ways to leverage that.
You should try it in singular terms. It says they can't get it to pop for plurals, but they can for singulars. Maybe if you manipulate it that way. Like watch instead of watches.
Is that based on the optimization of the site or the term being searched though? Yeah, so like it looks like
the search.
So the pages that are ranking are actually using plural. Because that's what I was thinking too. Like I was looking at some of my category pages because I have a few e-com sites now that I've been playing around with. And let's see. If I search my site with t-shirts. So if you put an S at the end of your search, it won't trigger, right?
That's what they're saying, but I mean, it changes by the day, so.
Yeah, exactly. That could definitely switch overnight. It is interesting how much difference you can get in SERPs when you add an S or take out an S, though. I will say that. Doesn't surprise me too much, though, because they can be very different things. Shopping ads, yeah, I have to check on my phone. And is this just showing on mobile or desktop?
It's more on mobile. That the video is mobile, but it's showing in every single search result. There's like 7 watches, but it's starting on desktop. They're noticing a shift.
So if you're in, definitely pay attention to that.
But they're seeing it for other brands too, because now it's triggering for like travel sites where they're just showing one image too.
Images, and that's something too we actually did a ton of testing on last year, is image snippets in the SERPs, how we triggered them. We found multiple variables that played the bigger parts in image optimization or getting an image to trigger for a specific search. Most of the stuff that people talk about with image optimization, though, is kind of worthless from what we found from an organic standpoint. So I'm not
like
talking
what?
Like metadata on an image. And again, I'm talking organic. We're doing tests with GMB. We could do more with that. What's in the image? That's probably a big one. What the image actually is from an organic standpoint. And this was last year, so maybe AI, rank brain, maybe that stuff's changed. So don't come jumping at me if you're like, we were in this test. We did tons of tests where we posted individual pictures, whole directories of photos that Google knows exactly what that photo is. And unless we had that term in the metadata or the title or the alt tag, and we needed that term somewhere for that page to even get entered into the SERP for that famous person or that object, like Nicki Minaj. Like put 100 photos of Nicki Minaj on a page, put at the top famous rapper, and you can do anything you want to that page. If you don't say the words Nicki Minaj, you are not going to show up for that term because you have thousands of photos of Nicki Minaj. That's what I found. And that's why I like people have talked about putting using relevant images and things like that. I don't know. It makes sense. It makes sense. But back when we did tests, none of that really mattered. What mattered were two things: three things: the name of the image, the alt text, and the placement of the image in comparison to the content on the page. Those were the three things that literally, if you line those three things up right, you get the picture like by a heading above a video that are both relevant to the terms you're trying to get that snippet to show, label the image with a relevant alt text, and name it with the snippet you're trying to get to trigger. Those are your best bets to get Google to trigger that in the SERPs when your listing shows. But that's about it.
Did you get it to trigger for things that didn't have a featured snippet already? Or they had already had a featured snippet and you just got your site to rank in there?
Okay, wait, yeah, let's back it up. So I'm not talking about featured snippets. I'm talking about image snippets in the search. So you could be number 3, number 5, number 10.
Oh, you mean just like them? I got you.
Yeah, exactly. It would show an image, which that's the way these product images are, right? It's on the listings, not just the top listing. Yeah,
it's on every single one. Like they were scrolling down and every site had it, which I don't know if I like that after watching that video.
Yeah, I mean, it does kind of create a bad user experience, especially if your product images aren't 100% on point, which a lot of e-commerce sites aren't, like they don't.
But what if that turns into like a ranking, or like not a direct ranking factor, but like people don't want to click on bad pictures, so then your site drops.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure. Well, Google doesn't use that data to rank websites, remember? Site traffic has nothing to do with ranking. CTR has nothing to do with ranking.
I don't
let's see. We got any? I haven't looked at the chat. Is anyone commenting? We got some.
Nope.
No. Okay. All right. I guess ain't nobody got no questions. No questions. What's with the sediment GMB thing? I actually didn't get to look into that.
So on mobile, if you search and click more businesses in the 3-pack, it will show. Hold on, I pulled it up on my phone. It's only on your phone though. It will show the quality of the reviews, the responsiveness, and the value.
The value.
I'm not really sure what that means, but
punctuality, quality, and responsiveness.
But it's changing based on where I am, because I searched the exact term that guy had searched in the article, and I got different sentiments than he did.
Oh, okay. So,
because it's the exact same listing and everything. Yeah.
So I don't know if it's going to be a ranking factor in any way, but definitely could impact conversions. And I'm assuming if you're doing any type of fake reviews, that's probably where we could see some of these things getting affected. Should go look at some. If you have any GMB listings that you've generated a lot of fake reviews for, go check that out. See if, I wonder if you have like 0% on any of these. I don't know, like what exactly do these mean? Like I said,
but I think it's the quality of the review, or the quality of the business in like the review describing the business, not the quality of the actual review. Because when you click on the sentiment, it's talking about the quality of their work, the plumber's work.
I got it. So it's summarizing what people are saying.
Yeah.
In their reviews. I thought that was something different. Okay.
But I wonder if they're clicking the sentiments in the review itself, because it's almost acting like a tag system where the reviews are tagged with different terms.
Yep. Yeah. And that's because I think they have the new, so when you leave a review, right, you can select the different, actually I haven't left a GMB review in a while, but you could select different, tags, whatever it's called, right, as far as the service and stuff like that. So
FYI, it's only showing up if the listing has quite a bit of reviews too. Anything under 10, it's not showing up.
So you need to have 10 or more, they're saying?
The lowest one I found, I'm just clicking through them, is 50. Let's see, what about this one with 8? Nope, it doesn't go. They probably have to have quite a bit of data to make those percentages. They're not going to say 20% when you only have 3 reviews.
Yeah, be interested to see how they're actually pulling that data, if that's coming directly from the inputs of the user, or if that's something they're figuring out, or if it's affecting rankings. Definitely gonna need to be
I wonder if it would affect if you searched for, like, if you search for the actual sentiment in your search query. Like
Well,
if
I
you
do.
say responsive plumber.
Yeah. I know last year on one of the vaults we were talking crap actually about the fact that if you search like worst plumber or worst company in your area, you'll get like 5-star companies. Like Google doesn't understand sentiment and search actually.
Maybe
So
it's trying to, though.
yeah, well, and I think they might be trying to, especially with reviews, that does make sense. And that's probably also too why they're giving people all the other data that they can enter in when they're leaving a review. So I'm sure it's all feeding into their machine learning, just like everything else. Alrighty. I don't know, you got any more comments on the news? I guess we can move into the tests unless anyone has any questions, or is there anything you wanted to comment on there?
No, the lowest one I found was 32 after clicking through all of them.
Wow, really? Okay. Go through your GMBs, people. Let us know if you got sentiment showing up.
I think 30 is the cutoff because there's one with 27 and it's not showing, and then the one with 31, it is.
Is every listing with over, have you found a listing with over 30 without it?
No.
Okay.
But I'm searching for Plumber Park, Florida, so I don't know about other areas.
Yeah. I honestly, I mostly have test listings and lead gen listings. And I don't get reviews on them since reviews aren't a ranking signal. Yeah, I said it. Get used to it, live with it. So yeah, sorry, I honestly I can't check any of my listings and see what's going on with reviews at the moment. Yeah. Alrighty. Let's jump into our SEO Med Scientist test. We still got some agency discussion we were going to do. We're running out of time though, so let's talk real quick about last week's test. We can go into this week's tests. We still don't have any questions or anything, right? Alrighty. Yep. So last week, we did an update SEO Med Scientist. We were looking at some image tests where we took some photos as the business or as a customer, uploaded it to the company either through the GMB app or directly through Google Maps as a customer pretty much stating work was done or showing a picture of their work. Long story short, we didn't get any movement really on anything. So the tests continue. We are doing updates this week on those tests. We're also doing some tests on geotagging and other things. Remember too, we've said this many times, single variable tests with GMB doesn't necessarily mean that something doesn't work. So if you see us release a test on the weekend update and it says we geotag our images, we uploaded it, these 5, these 10, whatever, and we saw no movement, that doesn't mean go and just stop doing your geotagging or whatever. We really want to use this data to kind of shape more tests and figure out how we can use that understanding to implement into our strategy. We've taken a lot of tests so far that we've done and implemented them into our strategies. I think the most recent one was our category test, which we found some really good data on, depending on what keywords you're targeting, what kind of irrelevant categories you may want to use to rank for those keywords. But definitely just wanted to point that out because someone commented to me or messaged me a few days ago and was like, should we stop doing this or that since it doesn't do anything? And I was like, no, we are a holistic strategy. And we definitely believe that a lot of these signals compound together. And that's where a lot of those results come from. It's not just Google just finds one signal and then the ranking goes up and finds another signal and the ranking goes up. And there's a much bigger picture to that. So with that said, we did find some interesting finds adding the GMB short URL to the GMB listing as the website. So essentially we changed our GMB website to the GMB listing URL using the short URL. And we've seen consistent ongoing gains every week for the past 2 to 3 weeks since then. And I'm going to do another update tomorrow. Honestly, I haven't checked since last week, so it might have all went away by now. But again, very, very weird test. I do not suggest going out and changing your GMB website to your short link, but there really could be something there as far as what Google is picking up by either A, what the GMB is linking to, or B, what is linking to the GMB short link, which if you know in our previous test, we tried some GMB short link tests. We've named it keywords and things like that. We haven't really gotten anything to trigger. We're doing some more linking tests, inbound linking from off-site things, but we've mostly been testing on the GMB listing. So that listing did not have a website prior to adding that short link to, which is important to note. So if it was linking to an actual website and then we changed it to the short link, maybe it would have went down, right? So do what you want with that. We're testing.
I thought you had taken out a website and put in the GMB listing.
Nope, there was no website.
What if it's just ranking higher because you're providing more information? It seems.
It's itself. I mean, it's like it's the equivalent of a strategy that I honestly don't know if it ever worked. I've heard SEOs talk about it like it worked, but linking to the same page you're on, like at the bottom of your page. This is some linking strategy.
What if it's like a loop and it like trips Google up and it's some sort of anomaly?
Well, that's what I'm wondering, if that, especially because like I said, I'm gonna check tomorrow. Rankings aren't like shooting up, but it's like every week I just see this tiny little bit more of it like going out, another like mile, half mile, and so on. So we'll do another update tomorrow, but it's definitely interesting. And the thing is too, we've done some experiments with that short link in other places, like obviously GMB posts and in pictures and wherever we can essentially cram it. And even in our SEO optimization, we do linking to the short link and GMB link and all that stuff. So it's a part of our strategy. So I'm not shocked that implementing that is doing something, but just in that way was kind of weird. Like you go to the listing, you click on it, and it brings you right back to the listing. It's just like an endless,
It seems like a bad user experience, so I would think it would ding you, but.
Well, I'm at the point now where I'm about to make a GMB link wheel. I'm about to get 5 GMBs and just link them to each other around in this endless wheel. I have 5 listings that are in a franchise. They're all just the same brand. And I'm wondering, just out of curiosity, that a lot of my tests are like that, by the way. Like I more report on some of the more serious tests I do. But a ton of the tests I run is I'm just sitting there just like, what would happen if I just, put this link here, there, or everywhere, add the GMB link to the menu on my site or the footer, or, just completely remove the website, just take down the website. I remember one test I did, I took 10 pages of content on my website and I just compiled them all on one giant page and then put a jump link directory at the top and redirected all the pages to one page just because I was curious if the long form would rank better than the individual pages.
What happened?
Well, I ranked for a ton of keywords that I wasn't ranking for, but didn't rank for almost any of the keywords that I was originally ranking for. So didn't get to pull a lot of info from it. It eventually led into a lot of duplicate content tests, which again, I mean, I'm going through. Sophie, you're the one. Where are we at with that list of the tests? How's that coming? Because I was just thinking, like, you should know all these tests, Sophie.
I've started it, but I've started it, but it's like everything else. Your to-do list grows and then things get pushed to the side. That's my last thing I have for that writing order.
Yeah, there's a whole over a year of tests we've done with duplicate content, and like I said, a lot of my point was a lot of that stuff is me just getting curious and throwing stuff and seeing what happens. So, all right, I'm done rambling now.
Max said, so you don't need a website. I think you still do, Max.
Just yeah. So I would definitely have a website. We know as a fact, we've seen cases where the GMB had an actual website linking from the GMB, and that link got changed to the GMB website, had devastating effects on the rankings. So we know as a fact, and I've also done other tests too, where or if you go to Google, you search for keywords, you'll often see listings pop up where Google will say, like, we found these terms on their website, which is why we're showing that listing. Now, what essentially we did here is we told Google that our GMB listing was our website. That's kind of what happened. So if our ranking is going up because we added the GMB listing as the website, that could be like, Sophie said, like a loop or something that's confusing Google. But if that is the case, then I would expect that to be closed up pretty quick. Especially if it works that well and everyone starts doing it.
Why would you do that though? It just seems.
Because we're curious. That's why.
Yeah, but on an actual business listing, like.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't. It makes no sense, right? Absolutely no sense whatsoever.
But sometimes the things that make the most sense don't work, and then it's like some weird thing that ends up popping it.
Well, I was also going to test changing that link to a GMB post, doing a nice big post about all of our services and things like that, and then sending it to a GMB post on the GMB. Like, there's so many random weird things you could use in that GMB link. A few tests back, we actually were running the schedule link tests where I, for the first time, discovered you could put like tons of schedule links in your GMB. It doesn't just have one. You could like add a bunch. So I put like a bunch of links to a bunch of different service pages to see if that helped any of my keywords, and that listing got suspended. So that's what happened there, which I reported about in The Scientist. Again, go sign up for that. Spend a lot of time in there. A lot of good stuff. Circular logic, though. I like that word, circular logic. It always makes me think of like link wheels and stuff. And I was always like a PBN guy, so I played around a lot with like how that bot was getting sent around the internet. Like, I like to control Google bot, tell it where to go and what to scan and what to think about it. Anyways. Okay, well, if we have any questions, anyone at all? Questions, comments? I think we could skip the agency discussion just because I didn't actually plan anything for it, to be honest, everyone. It was just
already 5 too, anyway.
Yeah, so I guess that's it. I guess we should call it a day, huh? You got anything for the folks at home? Sophie, no?
No, I do not.
All righty, then we'll wrap it up, everybody. Thanks for joining us on this lovely Thursday afternoon for the SEO Vault in the local SEO community, Web 20 Ranker page. We have our podcast all over the place. Just Google SEO Vault podcast. You'll find us. Every Thursday, 4 p.m. And we'll be back next week. So bye. Bye, everyone. If I could stop this.
Hopefully next week we have the SEO Vault summaries.
Yes.
That's the goal.
The weekend summaries.
Well, I want it for myself. I just want to like see all your tests you've done over the last year and a half.
Yeah. Okay, I found it. Bye, everyone.
Oh, we're still live. Bye.